No.
Okay. Apologize for my tardiness. I'll call the meeting to order. All three commissioners are present. It was properly posted on November 14th, and I will lead us in the prayer and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to get together and conduct the people's business. We'll ask that you lay your hand on these proceedings, keep all of our employees safe, and ask for wisdom when we make critical decisions. In your name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of November 6th?
Move approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any change to the blanket? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move our blanket.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll move approval of our claims.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket?
I'll move our consent docket.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
District 1.
Item 19. We have some special guests here today. We have Senator Carrie Hicks, who represents State Senate District 40, and her son Sawyer is here. Would you like to come up to the microphone and tell us why you're here, Sawyer?
Well, thank you all so much for having us this morning. Sawyer was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 17 months old. It was a pretty frightening experience for all of us. I'm thankful that he probably can't remember most of it, but he was rendered unconscious. We were within about 30 minutes of losing him when we finally got the diagnosis of type 1 diabetes. He was in severe diabetic ketoacidosis. It took us a week of recovery in the PICU, or the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit at Integris Hospital here in Oklahoma City. We're incredibly grateful for all of the medical advancements and technologies that have been able to, number one, bring him back to life, but also number two, to be able to sustain his life. He's now a thriving fourth grader at Rollingwood Elementary in Putnam City Schools, and we are incredibly thankful for the ability to pay for his necessary medical treatment. Obviously, it is a lifelong chronic illness. His pancreas will no longer produce insulin unless medical advancements provide for that in the future. It is incredibly expensive. Our medical bills are about twice as much as what an average consumer would pay for their medical treatment and care. And so in my work at the State Senate, we continue to advocate for meaningful ways to ensure that every family and every child living with a condition of type 1 or type 2 diabetes is able to afford the necessary medical treatment. So I'm very, very grateful to you all for taking up this proclamation today, because we know that it continues to be a major concern and a major issue for Oklahomans who live with this diagnosis. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Say anything?
Sawyer? No. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for your advocacy on this issue. I know you've done a lot of work to try to lower the cost of insulin to families and just raise awareness about resources and how to get help. So I will read this proclamation. Let me see if I have it printed out here. Hold on, it's here. Here it is. Here it is. Thank you. So this is a proclamation recognizing November 14th, which I think was yesterday, as World Diabetes Day in Oklahoma County. Whereas the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 37 million Americans live with diabetes and the daily challenges it entails. And whereas diabetes and its related complications, including heart disease, blindness, end-stage kidney disease, stroke, amputation, and even death, cost Oklahoma approximately $3.8 billion each year. And whereas the state of Oklahoma ranks among the top 10 states with the highest rate of diabetes and grapples with a high annual increase in new diagnoses. And whereas 451,888 people in Oklahoma, representing 14.3% of our adult population, have diabetes, while 1 in 4 Oklahomans has pre-diabetes. And whereas diabetes impacts the lives of countless Oklahomans, touching both those who live with the disease and their loved ones. And whereas Oklahoma County recognizes the importance of raising awareness around the harmful effects of diabetes and stands with those it impacts, advocating for a brighter future. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Oklahoma County hereby proclaims November 14th, 2023 to be World Diabetes Day in Oklahoma County. Approved this 15th day of November 2023. I will move approval of our resolution.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Sawyer, would you like to take a picture with all of us? We can come down here. Okay. You want your mom in it?
Okay, thanks for coming down. Number 20.
Good
I'll
morning.
let Joe speak to this one.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. This is an item that you'll also see in the PBA. It is to amend the trust indenture to allow your chief deputies to sit in your absence. We've long been told that we couldn't do that without the consent of the bondholders. After conversations with Jared and Zach, there's only one holder of the notes. And Jared drafted this language so that we could go ahead and move forward. That way you'll have flexibility in the meetings. I know there's been times where one or more of you have been unable to attend and we've had to schedule a special. So this will just allow the business, the PBA, to continue.
We've talked to the bondholder. They're on board. Have they signed off on anything? Do they have to? Or?
Yes, we've asked for consent from JP Morgan, who is the bondholder, and they've indicated that yes, there's no issue whatsoever. I don't have the physical signed copy, but verbally they're okay.
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 I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, Joe and Jared.
21 is the dates and times of the regularly scheduled meetings for the board in 2024. If there's not an objection, is there a motion?
I do. Let me find it. Here it is.
I had a couple of quick questions. One of them was the days before, like Christmas Eve, and then I think the day before Thanksgiving is what we had scheduled. And
Like this year?
yeah, I think for all those involved there taking time off and everything, it'd probably be a little easier on the county clerk and other offices if we did something different, but that's just my opinion.
Could we do a Monday meeting those weeks? Like the week of Thanksgiving and the week of...
Probably could just skip a meeting
Skip
that
them.
week because it wouldn't be that much difference between Monday and Wednesday of a short week would be
Okay.
my guess.
So then that would be November 27th and December 23rd.
Those are the only two that I saw.
Yeah.
If Mr. Mond's suggestion of skipping them is probably not a bad idea altogether.
It's generally a pretty slow time of year.
Yeah. And if we need to call a special for payroll, if we have to, we can.
Well, and that's done on the 20th. So November 20th, it should be fine, having a meeting that week, but then December, maybe. But I'm not sure.
You know, Carrie? Okay. Well, do we have to do this today, or is there a deadline we're up against? You want to defer this item and
Okay,
clean it up?
I'll defer item 21. Or maybe should I strike it?
Yeah, let's just strike. And then
Okay,
bring it
I'll
back.
strike item 21.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And this is the abstractor's bond on item 22 from American Eagle Title. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This is the agreement between the county commissioners and OSS law enforcement advisors, effective the first day of July. So it's retroactive, going through the end of the fiscal year on the Aaron Cooper case.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Engineering.
Yeah, the item 24 is a memorandum of understanding between this board and the Criminal Justice Authority. It's to allow you to do projects at the existing jail with ARPA funds. They weren't really approved as a subrecipient because of the high-risk situation. So we're gonna do those projects ourselves. And this MOU just details the fact that we're gonna do 3 projects down there, the roof, the HVAC, and the loading docks.
Okay.
And Stacy, it's my understanding that this MOU prevents the jail trust from front funding the money and then we reimburse. This allows us to pay for it directly
With the ARPA money.
with ARPA
correct.
money. Okay. I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And item 25 is that first project, the jail HVAC, which is the most critical project. We need to get started on that. It's subject to the encumbrance of funds, and I won't put out the notice to proceed until the Criminal Justice Authority can take up this MOU as well. But just to get a head start on getting this contract in place, the vendor's here today. Mark Long with Smith Roberts, Baldwin, if you want to have any questions about that project.
Oh,
Right.
can the person from SRB?
SRB.
Okay. And maybe this is a question for Stacy, but I know that there was some HVAC work done maybe in 2020. Is that correct?
We've done several projects through the years. This is the last piece.
The last
maybe.
piece. And was SRB the firm that did it most recently? No, it was a different firm.
Most recently, they started working with the Criminal Justice Authority directly,
Okay.
and then it was determined that that just wasn't going to work out. So we got some credit financially for the work that they've already done. So the cost of this contract is less than it would normally be.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to comment on?
We were brought in as an engineer of record to do maintenance projects using the ARPA funds. We did start the design on HVAC repairs, primarily tied to the dampers that were not functioning. We also identified there was a lack of balancing. Thermostats were not tied to the control system. And then there were some other things that Mr. Trumbo brought forward that were not in our original scope, which we had identified. And so those are the additional items. We did bid this project once as it was in the original scope while we were working for the trust. But then that never met through the hurdles of the ARPA funds. So we already have a majority of the work done. You've done a annual fire inspection, and that information will be provided to us. So we'll be ready to get going right away.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then item 26, the City of Midwest City has asked for an easement from you out at the social services property just to the east and north, so they can run a water line in support of their sewer treatment plant.
Okay,
I'll move approval.
Does that cut across your yard as well?
No.
Mm-mm.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Kelly?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kelly Work, and I am appearing in front of you this morning on behalf of the Oklahoma County Finance Authority. I serve as General Counsel to the authority and have my offices located at 105 North Hudson, Suite 304 here in Oklahoma City. This item that is on your agenda today concerns an application from the Central Oklahoma United Methodist Retirement Facility, Inc., which operates under the name Epworth Villa at 14901 North Pennsylvania here in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma County. And with me today is Mr. Ron Kelly, who is President and CEO of Epworth Villa. And I'll ask Mr. Kelly to step forward in just a moment to offer a few comments about Epworth Villa and about the what this proposed financing will allow them to accomplish. As you all know, the Oklahoma County Finance Authority is a public trust that has Oklahoma County as its beneficiary. It was established in 1983 to promote economic development through conduit financing and is able to issue bonds for qualified projects. This particular proposed 2023 bond series for the applicant, Epworth Villa, will total approximately $86,500,000, including $80,500,000 that will be bonds that are proposed to be exchanged for existing outstanding bonds that were issued in 2004, 2005, and 2012, also through the Oklahoma County Finance Authority for Epworth Villa. And then in addition, there is $6 million of new funds that will provide monies for capital improvements at the facility. The OCFA approved this application unanimously at a special meeting it held on October 31, 2023. And as required under the Internal Revenue Code, the authority directed that there be held a public hearing, which is referred to as a TEFRA hearing. It's required for a qualified private activity bond issue such as this one. So there was public notice that was given, and we actually conducted that hearing at the Norick Downtown Library on Monday this week. We did not receive any comments. People are invited in the notice to come in person if they choose to offer comments or to send in written comments. And we didn't have any members of the public attend that hearing, and we did not receive any written comments. As I mentioned, as you all are aware, this is conduit financing that is done through the Oklahoma County Finance Authority. These bonds will not be an obligation of Oklahoma County or the taxpayers of the county, and they will be a limited special obligation of the authority. The bonds will be secured by the facilities and the revenues of Epworth Villa, and the bondholders will be required to look solely to the project for repayment. This proposal will require approval of the bondholders. They are represented, they have been involved in this process and have been, there's been negotiations over, I believe, about the last year. And that process is presently underway, obtaining the bondholders' approval, which is anticipated through the federal bankruptcy court here in Oklahoma City. Also present, in case you may have specific questions regarding the financing is Mr. John Weidman, who is bond counsel to the authority with the Tulsa law firm of Hilborn and Weidman. So Mr. Weidman is present if you have questions. And at this time, I'd like to call on President and CEO of Epworth Villa, Ron Kelly, and ask him to make a few comments.
Thank you, Mr. Work. Thank you for your consideration of this matter on behalf of Epworth. I'll just give you briefly a few comments. Epworth Villa is a life plan community, otherwise known as a continuing care retirement community. And so we serve older adults. Our average age of our residents is about 82 years of age. Our purpose is enhancing lives so people thrive. And we do that through a variety of ways. The main way is folks come into our independent living in our apartments, in our cottages. They're able to take advantage of the dining venues that we have and other amenities and services, and it helps them as they are at that stage of life. As they need nursing care or additional care, we do have assisted living, memory care, as well as long-term care, which is basically like a nursing home kind of arrangement, as well as a skilled nursing area, which serves not only our residents, but the broader community, folks that go to the hospital for a few days and need some recovery and recuperation and therapy will come to Epworth before they go home. So we have about a little over 400 total residents and patients that we serve at any given time. And because of the healthcare nature of a lot of what we do, we have 350 employees that provide those services. That is just, wanting to comment briefly, the economic impact, about $13 million a year of payroll, give or take, every year. And so we're very grateful for this opportunity. COVID had a major impact on all senior living communities, and Epworth was no different. And so this is in large part a help for us in recovering from that impact. Thank you very much.
We're happy to take any questions that you may have with regard to this application. The plan presently is assuming that bondholder approval is obtained, which is anticipated about mid-December. The plan is if we obtain all of the required approvals, including this one from you all today, that this bond issue will close the last week of December this year. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time and attention.
We also have Finance Authority Trustee Fred Mendoza here with us. Do you have anything you want to add to this? Okay.
Sorry, Kelly, I didn't grab you before you sat down. Could you say again, you said there was bonds issued in 2004, 2005. Say again what you mentioned about that.
There were bonds issued through the Oklahoma County Finance Authority to provide funding for Epworth Villa. There was a 2004 series, a 2005 series, and a 2012 series. All of those are still outstanding. What is being proposed for the approximately $80,500,000 is that those bonds will be exchanged for the new 2023 series, subject, of course, to the approval of the bondholders, as I mentioned.
Okay.
And then the balance, the $6 million of new money is also included in this that will provide funds for Epworth Villa to do some needed capital improvements to the facility.
So real quick, Kelly, can you elaborate on the funding source for repayment of these? And then
let me have Mr. Kelly address that, because it will come from revenues of Epworth Villa that will be pledged to repayment, and he probably would be best to address that question.
you said a tricky little word earlier that kind of sparked some attention in my mind, and you said bankruptcy. Can you tell me what's that about?
Sure. So the way that the debt is structured, we have bondholders that have purchased these bonds. Many of them purchased actually by retail bondholders. In fact, some of our residents at Epworth purchased these bonds. They're $5,000 increments. And so back in 2012, when the bulk of the debt was issued, those bonds were sold and purchased by individuals, by institutions. And so one of the aspects of this is that if there are any changes, any kind of a refinancing like we're seeking, you have to get the approval of 100% of the bondholders. And so there are hundreds of those bondholders stretched out over many, many years. And so we don't have like a registry of who those folks are. We would not be able to track them down. So getting their approval is pretty much impossible. So the only avenue that we had in order to be able to make any changes, to do anything differently with our debt, was to go through the bankruptcy court. And through that, we can get the requisite approval from the bondholders, but with a much lower bar. We only have to get a majority of the bondholders, and it's only of those who vote. And so that's what the bankruptcy court is allowing us to do. There will be a notice that will be sent out very shortly that will give those bondholders that information, an opportunity to vote. And then ultimately the plan would need to be confirmed by the bankruptcy court. And that's the date in December, hopefully, that we anticipate.
Okay. All right. How long, Kelly, how long are the bonds for?
2047.
Oh, 2047.
Yeah.
I was thinking 47.
So the
years.
term is is until 2047.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Not, is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I know we've got Danielle here, but this is your final 33,000 and change to do the Health Alliance for the uninsured. This zeroes you out, right?
Yes, it does. This was the remaining amount from our District 1 allocation. Danielle, I don't know if you want to add anything. This is to Health Alliance for the Uninsured, which is a wonderful organization that has been around for a while. They provide healthcare and prescriptions to folks who are uninsured, maybe don't qualify for senior care, Medicaid, Medicare, but don't have private insurance. And they were very excited to receive these funds.
Yeah, they have been great. I have nothing to add to that. As Commissioner Mon said, this does take the D1 allocation down to zero. But yeah, no, they've been great. We were hoping to have their subrecipient agreement on here as well. We've been holding it for a minute, but needs to go through DA approval and some other steps as well first. So you'll see that in the next couple of weeks, but this will obligate those funds. Okay.
All right, you want to make a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank
Commissioner
you, Danielle.
comments, District 1?
I had a great time at the Sheriff's Training Center. Is Holmes here? Is anyone from the Sheriff's Office here? Andrea Anderson?
I don't have any items on today's agenda.
I was shocked that you all allowed me to do a high-speed chase, and
To be fair, yours wasn't high speed.
it was not high speed. I will agree with that. It was not high speed. I just couldn't believe I was allowed to do that, but it was a great time. And I feel like I learned a lot about our bomb squad and the training our deputies go through. So if the Sheriff's Office does that opportunity again for folks to come be deputy for a day, I would highly encourage you to do that.
Okay. 3?
It was a great day. It was a great event. I really appreciate the opportunity to come out there. It also highlighted some of the things that need to be addressed at their facility out there, and some of the things that need to be updated. And I'm already working with the Sheriff's Office to address part of their track and try to make some of that stuff better already. So
Nice.
again, thanks to the sheriff and their great staff, and appreciate that. And then had a great Veterans Day celebration across the district. We had many of our schools did parades and honoring the veterans, and then we had the big one in downtown Edmond. So thanks again for everybody's service.
Is there a motion to recess into executive session?
Can I add one more thing?
No.
Anderson, how many different, I just want to point out that a lot of different agencies use our sheriff's training center. I can't remember the number, but I was impressed by how many folks use that center.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't give you a number. Before I was promoted in 2018 to major, I was assigned to our training division for 17 years and managed that facility for about 9. There's the schedule is ridiculous. There's 5 active ranges out there. They're in use almost every day. Up until recently, it was the only law enforcement track in the state, so it was heavily used by just about everybody. There's some things OHP is going to build a track. Oklahoma City's building one. There's some other people that are getting into that business, so that's going to be alleviated a little bit to allow some local people to get on a little bit more often. But yeah, it's federal agencies, sheriff's offices from other counties, police departments, state agencies, you name it. We host probably the last 10 OHP academies have used our facility for several things, 5 or 6 weeks during their academy. So we've always had a very good working relationship with all of those other law enforcement partners, and it will continue. So,
thank you.
you bet.
You didn't even mention the Navy and the other people that are on the other side.
Yeah, that is true. There are several local military units that utilize it as well. And they're great partnerships because they bring resources to the table and help us do some stuff, and it's all good partnership.
Is council present for Chapman versus Johnson? Okay. Well, we can go ahead and enter into executive session for the other items if there's a motion.
Okay, I'll move we enter into executive session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to return from executive session.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. I was also going to make sure, because we didn't do this before, is there any new business? Okay, just being clear. Now, action on item 32.
Item 32, I don't believe we're going to take any official action, but we are going to, given that there is a pending meeting on this matter this coming Monday, I believe later I'm going to make a motion that we,
Reconvene on Tuesday.
thank you. I was blanking on the correct wording. Given the pending meeting on this matter this coming Monday, later I'm going to move that we reconvene this BOCC meeting next Tuesday morning. So that is the update on that, is that there's no official action on item 32, but we will reconvene next week.
Okay. Item 33. Council
Um,
didn't show, so I don't think there's any action on that.
Okay.
34.
No action needed.
Um,
No action.
Okay. No action on 34.
Okay. Any citizens who wish to be heard? Judge Ogden, you're here. Did you have anything to say? No, I'm just here for the next meeting. Okay, gotcha. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move we adjourn.
I will object. I think we want to make a motion
Oh.
to recess until Tuesday next week at 10 a.m.
Wow.
in this room.
I am creature of habit. I will move that we recess this BOCC meeting for next Tuesday at 10 a.m. I want to get the date correct.
21st.
I move we recess until next Tuesday, November 21st at 10 a.m. I'll move that we reconvene then.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We stand in recess.
Do you want us to make the motion or push the button again? Okay. Okay.
I'm in.
I don't have a.
Yeah, it's not letting me. Oh, here we go.
finally
Join.
popped up. Okay. That's not the right one, though. Okay. I think I'm in the right one. Ready? Okay, I'll call it to order. All three trustees are present. It was properly posted on November 9th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of both October 23rd?
You're not in the right one.
Not in the right one. I didn't
November
think so.
14th.
Mine says notice of this meeting was properly posted on Wednesday, November 14th. That's not.
But that's not the one I had join on. so-
Today is Wednesday, November 15th. Oh, should it say Tuesday, November 14th? Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, recognizing the Scrivener's error of Tuesday.
Okay.
And it was posted on November 14th. Is that right? Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes of November 6th?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll move our claims.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we want to defer this item? It was a companion item on the BOCC also, or strike it and bring it back?
I'll move to strike item 3.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Treasurer?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is item to schedule the event room at the Lincoln Building for our annual resale. And the dates that we are requesting will run from Friday, June the 7th, 2024 through Friday, June the 14th, 2024. And we have submitted the request to Mr. Keith. And what we will do on Friday is use that to get everything set up, everything from the chairs to checking the speaker system to be sure that all that is working. So anyway, we ask for your support as you've always been able to do, as you've always done for us in the past years.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
These are our financial statements. Both on item 5. You want to hop back up one?
Are we on item?
There we go.
5? There we go.
Is there a motion to receive?
Move to receive.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then
This is just
cash
moving.
fund appropriation.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And 7 and 8 are our report of fees. You want to do them together?
I'll move to approve items 7 and 8.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Transfer of cash. Treasurer.
Thank you again. What we're doing is coming to you asking for a transfer of $8 million, $7 million from the PBA. And anyway, this as right now we're still accumulating cash to get us through until we get the tax bills out and some dollars in.
You want to explain, because I didn't know why the tax bills hadn't gone out until you explained to me the other day. Thought that was good information.
It's because of one of the adjoining counties is just now finishing up tomorrow, as a matter of fact, their 2-week protest period. So we've got all of our rates. We're ready to go. We have been for well over 3 weeks. And as soon as we get this adjoining county, as soon as we get their rates that we have to have, which we hope to have by Friday, then our plans are to have our bills to the company that prints them and distributes them no later than Monday. Hopefully they're going to be able to start by Monday. So we're behind the 8 ball. There's no question about
But there's no, they'll still be due on December 31st, correct?
is
For
correct.
the first half?
That is correct. Statute requires, I believe, a 30-day notification. So
Okay.
anyway, we'll still be within that.
That was going to be my question.
And there will be some extra bonds passed by local entities on this year, so they can be prepared for that.
Is that why we're waiting on another county or some of the bonds that cross? Can you explain why we're waiting on another county?
I really don't know. I do know that we historically end up waiting for the joint counties. But this year it's been, I think it's Pottawatomie County, and it's been longer than what it normally is.
I think this is the latest, though, we've ever dropped them, right? But it's not our fault, but it's nevertheless the latest, right?
It's I think there may have been a time when we didn't hit it till December. Early December. I just don't recall right now what that was, what was driving that. But without a doubt, this is an anomaly. This is not what we normally end up doing.
Well, I just wanted to defend you and make sure that they knew it wasn't Oklahoma County Treasurer's fault, but they're going to be surprised, I think, at the quick turnaround for when it's due, and there's extra bills on there this year.
Yes.
All right, back to this item, $7 million. Is there a motion?
And
No, go ahead. Sorry.
and this is, last week there was the item to borrow some money from the jail bond funds, and we chose not to do that.
True.
And so this item is for that
True.
same purpose.
True, the PBA, and incidentally, I know Commissioner Davidson had asked about this before. Commissioner, this would be the 6th year that we have borrowed money from the PBA. And again, the intention, and it will be paid back by January 14th, mid-January anyway. So it will be paid back then.
And I see Mr. Money sitting in the back. I appreciate you writing articles about this and educating the public on why we do this and what it is. And there's a lot that goes on here at Oklahoma County that folks don't know about or may want to learn about. So if there's no other
But just
questions.
real quick, it's the borrow word is what I think everybody gets kind of hung up on. And
Okay.
this is when you and I talked, you explained what the borrow was. It's more of an accounting principle. It's not that we're not borrowing money from anybody. We're not paying interest to anybody. We're actually nothing more than an accounting principle to be able to meet payroll. There's not a shortage. There's nothing of the sort. This isn't a desperation move. This is absolutely normal business of Oklahoma County. And I want people to understand that we're not,
Okay.
while I understand that, yes, we have a small budget, we are very physically responsible. All budget board members are. We stay within our means, and this is nothing but an accounting procedure.
And that's absolutely well stated. We have like $130-some million in BOK right now, but this is all internal accounting procedures. We have to have the cash. We have to have the cash in the right accounts in order for us to be able to pay these bills. So that's what this is. As I said, it's it's been, I think, since like 2000, 1999, something like that.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's a good financial management. The one year that we did not have it because we were not a budget board county, and you have to be a budget board county in order to do this. The one year we ended up having to borrow money, 2005, I think it was, and we ended up paying like, I don't know, $120-some thousand in interest.
Yeah.
And that just goes all over me for us
For
to have
30
to do
days.
that.
To actually use our own money.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you for the clarification.
is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Butch.
Some parking contracts.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then this is the amendment.
I think this is the same item as that was on BOCC.
Allowing the chief deputy.
It allows our chief deputies to sit for us in PBA. Okay, move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would hope you all would allow Christie to go ahead and leave what she just asked. She's gonna go make all that.
Very good.
We're gonna have the 7 million parking back upstairs.
All right, this is an OIA request for $30 million.
Commissioners, Mr. Davidson, who drafted the language for this, had to leave for another meeting. Zach Robinson, the financial advisor, also had to leave for another meeting. So if you want to take this up at another time, but I can give you a little bit of highlights if you'd like. And I think Judge Ogden is here to speak to you about this issue as well. So whatever your pleasure.
I mean, I think you can speak about it all you want to, but I'd really like to defer it until bond counsel's on spot, but on site.
Judge, you want to say something?
I'm happy to speak now or wait and hold my peace and
I'd
speak when.
speak now.
Okay. Well, I think that the only thing that I would like to say is that I know that the consideration of where to build some additional courtrooms, whether it be on 5 in this building, the county building, or whether it be on the 2nd floor of the Juvenile Justice Center. And first of all, we just want to say we appreciate all the accommodations and working that you've done with us in terms of temporary space, but this would be more of the permanent location for these new judges. Looking more at a window of 18 months would be great because where we have the judges right now, in particular, one judge is going to have to temporarily use the jury assembly room with their chambers being on 3. So an 18-month window for a permanent location for these new judges would be ideal. Our preference would be the Juvenile Justice Center because the dockets that would probably be reconstituted would be the probate, guardianship, and adoption dockets. The public defender already has the same public defenders that would be servicing the dockets for the Juvenile Justice Center and the probate guardianship dockets. And the adoption dockets, and then also the court clerk already has a footprint there. There's security that already has a footprint there, and so there could be also a lot of cross usage by the judges. So if a judge needs to cover a different docket, these judges are largely utilizing the same basis in terms of dealing with juveniles and dealing with a lot of the same items. So that would be our preference, but we know that this is a decision for the commissioners. My job is only simply to advise of the preference of the conference.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
your time. Sorry you had to wait.
That's fine. I'm happy.
So our next meeting is,
Well, your next meeting is
well,
next
well,
week, and I think Commissioner Davidson and Commissioner, you're not going to be available.
correct.
Why don't you all go ahead and strike this? Let me work with Jared and Zach to find a time that they can both be here and we can bring this back. Just add a quick moment of context to what Judge Austin was discussing. When we made our recommendation to you all to do this, a component of that recommendation and to utilize a portion of these funds for the courtrooms at JJC, as well as some additional courtrooms here in this building. So that's what the judge was referencing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're reconvening next Tuesday, and then we have a regular scheduled meeting next Wednesday. And then the next regularly scheduled meeting after that is November 29th. It's a Wednesday. So maybe Jared and Zach can come on the 29th.
If you'll just strike, and I'll work with them,
Okay.
and I'll place them back on when it works for their schedules.
Are you all okay with that? Okay. I'll move to strike item 12.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to recess into executive session?
I'll move we recess.
I
Is this the
believe,
companion item to
I believe you
BOCC?
can strike this item as well. The sheriff and undersheriff needed to leave, but it's a similar discussion of what was held concerning the county properties.
Okay. Then I will rescind my motion. Am I able to do that?
Yep.
I will move to
Strike item 14.
strike item 14.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there any citizens to speak? Are there any board comments or new business? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.